date, we have done a lot of coverage on the progressive release of the Banshee and Guard line from CMMG. Because of that, I'll direct you to some of our previous videos on the topic to get a more in-depth discussion of the platform and what the radial delay blowback does for PCCs. The Mark 10 Banshee is the most recent culmination of over a year and a half of work on the platform, bringing it up to speed for the stresses of 10mm. For a really quick rundown, there is currently only one barrel length offering in the Mark 10 at 8 inches. Notable features of this gun include ambidextrous controls, an M-LOK handguard, sling plates, and the rip brace, which is a collab between SB Tactical and CMMG using the venerable SB A3 brace. The firearm ships with an H3 buffer to tame down some of that 10mm goodness, but also ships with a lighter standard carbine buffer for anybody wanting to sling 10mm of a lower power factor. And CMMG is also making available separately a heavier 8-ounce buffer for anybody wanting to do full house 10mm suppressed. Our testing revolved primarily around suppressors to see if we could stress the gun and discover where CMMG's thinking was on the multiple buffer system. Who doesn't love a Glock-fed carbine, especially in 10mm with that radial delay blowback, kind of dialing it down a little bit. The only thing I have against the Glock brand Glockazine in this particular platform is that it's short. So it looks a little bit sawed off there, but it holds 15 rounds of 10mm, which is great. But because CMMG is full America, they've decided to ship the gun with the SGM tactical magazine, which doubles the capacity to 30 rounds of 10mm. And I have to say that that looks much better. Good on them for thinking ahead, because who doesn't love full capacity?
It's a little bit stiffer than your average PCC, but it's not bad. You want the stock extended because the charging handle wants to
brace extended. The
object at the rear of the buffer tube, because this charging handle wants to eat your face. This is already a heavy buffer, though.
Yeah, it's an H3. Comes with an H3. Oh, shoot. That's funny. 8-ounce buffer.
It's heavier than the gun. Oh, come on. Come on.
I don't know what to do with my hands.
Needs lube.
Would you like some ammunition? Go ahead, let it run. 8-ounce buffer. Does that feel better or the same, or could you really tell a difference?
It feels about the same.
Feels about the same? I don't know what an H3 weighs.
I don't know.
I have to annotate that.
It doesn't weigh near as much as that thing does. There might be a little bit more felt recoil, I guess. Just a little push.
Yeah.
But you're moving probably twice as much mass.
All right, guys, well, if you remember back to when we did the Bowers ASP, we didn't have an opportunity to run it in 10mm because we didn't have a 10mm. So this is going to double as the second suppressor test for the 10mm Banshee and the 10mm test for the Bowers ASP. So here we go. We have it charged up with our wire pulling gel and full house 180 grain. Here we go. Are you ready? Whoosh-oo. wearing wire pulling, Joe. You put way too much in this thing. Oh well. Do you want to go? I'm never letting you juice cans again.
Oh.
Yeah, I like it more than the Obsidian.
Definitely less felt recoil with this can. It's even smoother than it was with just the brake, but I wouldn't like shoot it and then go to dinner or...
Yeah, you might take a shower afterwards.
It's even in the hole. Jump cuts make me and Spangrish into gods. Okay guys, we're gonna go ahead and get some chronograph data. We're gonna be shooting a 180 grain jacket hollow point loaded by Fiocchi. We had 2 chronographic errors, so we've gone ahead and moved the chronograph back, and we've put 2 rounds in.
So hopefully the read is 11. How did the recoil feel? We left the heavy buffer in.
I didn't really notice it from the bench.
Really?
I think you notice more push when you're standing up.
Okay.
Just because it's kind of that pistol caliber carbine, heavy moving parts type things.
All right, guys. Well, what we've got here is I've put the standard muzzle equipment back on. We shoot most of the stuff suppressed because that usually stresses the gun out. But I've come up with another way to stress the gun. This thing typically comes with an H3 buffer in it. Well, I have a standard buffer here as well, just a standard carbine buffer. So I'm going to shoot a couple and see how this feels with the H3 because I've not got to shoot it unsuppressed yet. Here we go. Go ahead and put the standard buffer in there. You know, I didn't really notice that much of a difference. Maybe if we were shooting some like lighter loads or something like that, we would need the lighter buffer. I'm gonna have to tear into it and see if we've damaged any components, but I didn't feel like any strikes. I'm not feeling the carrier bottoming out or anything. I'll have to look at it on a higher speed camera to determine what's going on. So as I mentioned, I needed a little bit bigger guns, so I brought down Nito with his high-speed camera to try and get a little bit better look at what's going on. I put together a quick matrix of 2 types of ammo, a 200 grain bear load, and the hotter 180 grain Fiocchi JHP mentioned previously. We shot both loadings, first unsuppressed with each of the 3 buffers, and then repeated the test suppressed. We came up with the H3 buffer being optimal for both loadings while unsuppressed. It gave the right balance of carrier speed and felt recoil. That said, depending on how hot the cartridge is loaded, it may be beneficial to use the 8-ounce buffer. For instance, the Fiocchi 180 overpowers both the standard weight and H3 buffers while suppressed. Meanwhile, the lighter 200 grain loading exhibits this behavior using only the standard buffer. When we move up to the 8-ounce buffer, we can see that it has tamed both cartridges substantially. However, the H3 buffer would probably be perfect for a subsonic 10mm offering. We got Spangrish in the house with the 10mm Banshee. To this point, you've got a grand total of, I think, 15 rounds through the gun.
18.
18.
Yeah.
18 rounds.
I'm basically a pro.
Yep. Yeah, absolutely. The important thing is that you look good for Instagram, right?
That's right. That's
you don't
the
even
only thing
have an
that matters.
Instagram account.
No, but I mean, I can live through you. 10 millimeter. 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 10
Hit. Hit. Miss. Got him. Hit. Get the hostage.
Yep.
Get the hostage. Got him.
Hey!
Like the second time ever.
Third.
Third. Yeah, you're
Thank
right.
you very much.
Don't forget the 50 cal target all the way over. Got it. Hit. Good job, man. Man.
A game today.
Yeah, buddy.
Wow.
I'm going to say it was the 10 mil. You had the power of the extra millimeter in your hand.
That's the best millimeter.
It's only 1 extra millimeter, but it's all you need.
That's right. Size matters.
Yep, absolutely.
Yeah, this is a cool little gun, man. I like it.
Yeah.
I like all the Banshees though, so.
Yeah, it's kind of hard.
Yeah.
What would you say your favorite to this point has been?
The 22.
The 22? Yeah.
That's one of the most fun guns I've ever shot in my life.
I can agree with that.
It's awesome.
I do think that, I think what's really interesting is what they do with 10 millimeter in this platform. I've only ever shot one other 10 millimeter, like carbine, and this dials it back considerably.
Yeah.
Than a direct blowback gun.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, the impulse is nice. I mean, it's not.
It was built to really, the radio delay blowback was really built to crush down that 9 millimeter and 45 recoil because of the reciprocating mass. And I think it plays well in 10.
I think CMMG makes good guns. So.
Just in general, right? Like half your guns are CMMG guns, so you aren't biased at all.
Well.
Losing too much weight. That's totally what's going on. Pants are falling down. No, it's all the pile of 10 millimeter I got in my pocket right now.
Threat. Miss. Hit.
It's obscured by a weed. That's what matters, right? Got it.
I think I hit it, but.
Am I hitting it? And it's
nope.
Not... There it is. Got it. So, okay. I'm gonna make excuses.
Let the excuses fly.
No, seriously, I was literally aiming at the wrong spot. Like, I seriously was. My perception of where this plate was in the rack was completely wrong. So, well, you know what? I think we got one more in this thing, but guys, 10 millimeter Banshee again. We've been big fans of the Banshee and the Guard platform, the radio delay blowback system. Really dials down that reciprocating mass. They've done some interesting stuff with the 10 millimeter. Long awaited for the Banshee. Seen it on the internet. Well, you saw it here first at the VSO Gun Channel. Thanks for watching. 5 mags down. The threshold of pain is 60 degrees Celsius, and we got to be at like 58 degrees right now. It's starting to get there where if it got any hotter, I wouldn't be able to hold on to the handguard. Maybe that's a function of the fact that it's suppressed. But she's getting warm. 10 millimeter.
The best millimeter.